This is the thing. Who you choose to hang around with, who you choose to have in your posse is exactly who you become. Choose your posse wisely. I'm here to tell you that putting yourself first is not selfish, it's revolutionary. Welcome to the Ayurvedic Woman Podcast, empowering women to light their lives on fire through Ayurveda, yoga, spirituality, and fitness.
Jai Bhagwan, woman warriors, and welcome to the Ayurvedic Woman Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Satyavani, and I have my fabulous, incredible, amazing, well-bunned co-host here.
Hello, everyone. Prajna Madhavi.
It is so good to be here. So this is exciting news, friends. We are officially in a brand new recording studio here in Boise, Idaho, SB Studios, with our favorite friends, our new favorite friends here, Roberto and Sean, who are helping us take this to the next level. So you can see how professional, like we're leveling up here.
Yeah.
We have leveled up. We're making it happen.
Yes.
We're going right up. So we are happy to welcome you into our new studio community. And I'm going to put a plug in here because that's how I roll. That if you are looking to start a podcast, have a podcast, or in the Boise area, looking for a great studio to record in, this is the place to be. No other place to be. The folks here are fantastic, and you will get everything it is that you need. So if you are looking for it, come find it. SB Studios, Boise. There you go.
Yep.
Awesome. It's pretty exciting.
It is.
You look very cool on that couch.
Oh, thank you.
You look very comfortable.
Yeah, I look very comfortable in your chair as
What?
well, the captain's chair.
The captain's chair? Is that what this is? So good. So this
It's been a little while.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. It has. But for very specific purposes, we have been organizing and reorganizing and now taking this podcast to the next level. We obviously found SB Studios so that we can stop being ghetto and doing it on Zoom, which, hey, it works. It works, but it's not where we want it to be.
Yeah.
So that takes time and meetings and vision and all of that. And so we're really starting to map that out, which is very exciting. And we'll talk to everybody about that at the end of the podcast so you know the direction that the Ayurvedic Woman is going. So it's exciting.
Yes.
Let's do a wellness check-in.
Okay.
What's going on, girl? How we doing on all of the levels, all the kosher levels?
Okay. Physical level, feeling really strong, really good.
Damn, girl, you jacked. I got to tell you, like, damn, welcome to the gun show, huh? Woof.
Yes, I'm keeping my, I've been getting a lot of compliments, which is very nice, and I try to be the thank you. And I got told by Jesse today over at Fit Body Boot Camp that he's like, you can keep that, humbleness, but then also be like, I can help you. Like, yes, do this. Because getting the personal training, the fitness certification, now I'm in that realm where, if you want, if you like the way,
if you would like
looks,
this, people, just so you know, if this is something that you would like,
there is a
come
way.
to Prajna. There is a way in which this can be done.
And some women are like, I want to look like you, and I'm like, no, you want to look like you, but the best you can.
Correct.
That's
correct.
That's the main focus that I try to put them on. So, so physically feeling very good. Not as sore as I have been in the past. Like the beautiful weather has been really helpful. Wanting to go out and run and actually lift and just do all of those things. So.
Rather than hide and sleep.
Yes, hide and sleep.
I know.
Yeah. Emotionally, again, feeling really strong, really capable.
I like that word, capable.
Very capable. Anything that's out there is ready to go and ready to do it.
Love it.
Feeling mental clarity. I feel pretty clear that way. Like I have a purpose. And
Love that.
The purpose is starting to, find its way. And I'm starting to get on that path and just feel very clear in that.
Love that.
Being out in nature helps the spiritual side as well. It's just being out in nature is so crucial.
Hands down.
To me, being out in the garden. I schlepped around compost all Monday.
How much compost did you get delivered to your house?
1.5 cubic yards. So It doesn't seem like a lot, but when they unload the dump trunk, I was like, oh, and then when you start shoveling it, it's like, oh my God, this is
That's
a
why you're
lot.
so jacked. This is the compost body, friends.
Yes.
There you go.
And, at the end, I was like, I don't know where else to put all this dirt, and like just trying to dump it in different places and on my yard, and
Have a dirt stand out front.
Yeah.
Anybody come take
free
dirt.
dirt. So, but it's a great exercise, and
Awesome.
just being in the dirt and like taking it in and being in the garden, it's wonderful.
Which is a spiritual experience
Yep.
in and of itself.
Love it.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weather, game changer.
Mhm.
Game changer.
And it'll be gone soon, so you got to enjoy it till it comes back.
Sad face. No, we're just going to pretend that it's going to be here all the time because it's like 72 degrees outside today and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So exciting.
Yep.
Wonderful.
How about you?
Oh my God. So good. So
Good.
good. Well, as you know, physically, I am currently in the shred phase.
You're hungry.
So, as I tell everybody who asks me, how's shred going? I am tired, sore, and starving, but I'm happy. And actually, I say some of that facetiously. What's interesting is that I'm now I'm completing the 3rd week of the shred, down 5.5 pounds and already a 0.5% of body fat. So, I mean, it works. There's no two ways about it. But what I've learned this year versus last year is it's not that I didn't have the mindset last year, but the mindset is different this year.
Nice.
It's very much like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I got to grunt this out and get through it. This is what I do, and this is part of it. And the results are very much worth the challenge.
You're looking pretty jacked yourself.
Why, thank you. You're so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I love her.
Yep.
And today I was working out with August over at Krav Maga Experts for a PT, and was doing 85-pound deadlifts, and
Why not?
Why not? Right. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because he's like, let's just throw on like 35-pound plates on a 50-pound bar. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And then, and then it happened.
Yeah.
And so, and it's just interesting to watch the process of literally what we talk about all the time, especially on this podcast, is it's these little things. Like, one of the things that's been a game changer on the physical level, and then moving into like my energy level, my mental emotional state, is having this Clever Fox planner.
Mm-hmm.
That has just been like a game changer for me. So like every week I have to sit down and write what the goals are of the week and what are the priorities. And then every week that gets reviewed, and like you check off the things it is that you did. And so, I've been doing that since January, and you have like 3-month goals and all of that. And what I found is that everything it is that I write down, like, and I check it off, and it's like, yeah, I did that, or that got canceled, or this got moved, or whatever, et cetera. And you start adding up all of those things, and it's like, damn, like there's been a lot that's been accomplished. And like, I truly believe that part of the work it is that I'm doing on the day-to-day, you're doing on the day-to-day, is what like manifested us here in this awesome podcast studio, like with this perfect relationship. It's like, you put those things out into the world, and it's not just thinking about it, but literally there's something about energetically writing it down. And then like at the end of the week, like, oh yeah, I didn't get to that. I've got to circle back, or boom, just nailed it. Bing, bing, bing. And then simultaneous to that, writing down my workouts. Obviously I have to write down my calories and everything like that, but that's helping me. I'm using the Fit Body Bootcamp app. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give a plug for this for those of you that are interested in doing an ultimate transformation program. Come to Fit Body Bootcamp in Boise and work with Jeannie or Jesse, and get into that UTP, that ultimate transformation program, because the app itself is just magical. It does all the work for you. Because there's a lot of apps out there, like MyFitnessPal and all that kind of stuff. They don't do what this app does.
Scratching the surface.
Yeah, it's just scratching the surface. So,
yeah.
And then I would say, like consciously and spiritually, I don't know what it is, but I just feel like I am so in the groove right now. Like all of these amazing things are happening, and all of these great women are coming into my sphere, our sphere, and we're just doing this collective work like we talked about in the beginning of this year. It's just, I'm just open to see what happens.
Yeah.
And it just contributes so much to my overall wellness, and it just feels great.
I love it. I definitely see it in you.
Oh,
Just
thank you.
yeah, it just
Thank you.
opened up, and
I appreciate that.
I mean, you're always driven like that, but like we've talked
Sometimes
about,
to a fault, but
yeah.
yeah.
But when
Thank
you're
you.
again, like we've talked about, when you're doing it not for the fruits of your labor, and you're just doing it just to do it.
Yep.
I mean, it's starting to manifest.
I really appreciate
All
that.
these things are happening.
They really are. They really are, and it's exciting. And what's exciting about it is that when it's happening to to me, to you, et cetera, we can share that, and that's like the purpose of the podcast is to share this for all women. So it's like this actually works. The practice proves the teaching, as the great Dr. Michael Bittner would say. So yeah, there we go. So today's agenda, gals, is what Prajna and I are noticing that's happening in the world right now, these changing times, and how we can look at that and still stay on purpose. Because as everybody knows that we proclaimed at the beginning of the year, this year's focus is leading a life of purpose on all layers of the self. And so as we're starting to witness some things that are happening in the world, Prajna sent me this podcast that was a little bit frightening, I will fully admit, from Modern Wisdom is the name of the podcast. And so, Prajna, why don't you give the background on this, and then we can kind of have a conversation about why it was frightening for me and what we're looking at it from perspective.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, and this one really hit me, maybe because I'm a high school teacher, my muggle job, but
the muggle job.
Yeah. The main focus was why young women today are struggling, really.
Big
mentally
time.
And physically. And I mean, the main focus was mental issues that they're having. And
it seemed like anxiety was one of the top.
Anxiety was key.
Depression.
Just mental. And at the high school level, it made me think of this group that actually came to me that wanted to bring more awareness to essentially mental illness throughout the school, bring change to mind. And when I was listening to this podcast, it just really made me think of that group and how, we can talk about it more and we can identify it more, but what is really at the root of it, and how are we going to solve those issues? And in talking with you about it, and I really with this year and our wanting to bring purpose and have people have purpose, we want to know how we can contribute. And I think we both feel like we can really contribute to this issue.
I believe that we have a huge opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Because I actually think that there's a lot of conversation about these issues that are happening. And this podcast was specifically about like millennials and Gen Z and all of that, and what they're struggling with and what they're dealing with. And I think that there's a lot of conversation about like, oh, this is what's happening, and this focus was specifically on girls.
Yeah.
In that generation, and talking about how they're experiencing excessive anxiety and body dysmorphia and depression and all of these kinds of things. And then,
things that I'd never heard of before. I have DINK in my notes.
I don't even know
that
what
I had never heard of before.
Now my definition:
double income,
no kids. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You've never heard that before?
No, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, DINKs. Like, that's old school. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I have, I just made a list of false sense of reality, the double income, no kids, the casual sex, the paradoxes of I'm a super strong woman feminist with mental health issues.
Right.
Like there were so many things that really popped out that I just feel like we have a real opportunity and kind of a dharmic responsibility to
I love that dharmic responsibility.
Help who we can.
Absolutely.
So
the the conversation in this podcast that was a little bit frightening for me was this idea of what they call hot girl pills. Oh boy, that hit a chord for me. So for those of you that are listening, the discussion was around how antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, diet pills vis-a-vis Ozempic and all of that were what are considered hot girl pills, so that if you want to be a sexy, hot, young woman, that you take these medications and that whole thing. And
glamorizing it.
Thank you.
Making it
That's
seem
the
like
word.
it's,
right.
Oh, it's just a thing. This is what we do.
Right.
And
And
hot girls have IBS was another one that they brought
hot
up.
girls have IBS.
Like no one should have IBS.
Well, you are a hot girl if you have IBS, because there's some major heat that comes from those digestive problems. But yeah, I don't think that was the intention.
No.
But the thing that struck me with, the hot girl pills, et cetera, was also the conversation then led to, and the gal was Freya, India, who was the guest. Mm-hmm. The thing that was interesting that the conversation led to was this idea that these practices, whether it's pills or plastic surgery or whatever that these gals are doing to create an image, they're creating this image in a virtual world.
Yeah, for a virtual
world. Exactly. So they're doing these things to look good on camera, with lighting and all of this. So it's not for public, like out in the world that we operate in.
Yeah.
Like reality. The real world, reality, but rather this virtual world. And that really got me thinking about things like AI and how there is now a generation of, and I mean this in the most compassionate way possible, of lost women who are physically living in a physical reality that you and I are, like, we're sitting across from each other right here, but are operating in a virtual world. So it's like, we laugh about it all the time, like the Matrix, but they're in and out of the Matrix. And they're creating this whole identity and life in a virtual setting. And part of the reason why they're experiencing anxiety and all of these issues are because when they actually have to interact because they're still like human beings walking around, when they actually have to interact in society, that's what's bringing up the anxiety and the depression, et cetera, because that virtual veneer, so to speak, isn't there. Like, did I grab that right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd love to get your take on that.
Yeah, that just the idea that they can, they're making images or taking pictures of themselves and fixing it to where, how they want to look and how they see other people look online. They are distorting their sense of reality, and they're spending so many hours online. That is their reality.
Oh my God.
When you're spending 10 hours a day on, on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok.
I heard that, and I'm trying to calculate the hours. Yeah. Like, how is that? That's a full-time job, and then some.
I'll have students that say, I stay up until, 4 a.m. online. And I'm like, well, no wonder you're tired when you get to class, or don't show up to class because
can't function.
Yeah, or can't function. And then the other part of that podcast was, well, if you do have anxiety or you do have the depression, you just text your psychiatrist.
Oh, that's right. The mobile therapist.
Mobile therapist, and they'll just tell you what you want to hear or help you at any given moment. And this is where I think we kind of come in, is they are lacking the ability to deal with what they're not dealing with. They have very little resilience to deal with.
And that is a key word right there. Mm-hmm. This is the thing. Gals, you have to develop resiliency.
Yeah.
You have to. Life is fucking hard. There's no two ways about it. And it's also beautiful. Mm-hmm. If you do not develop resiliency, you are not going to make it. And part of what we're doing here, what we're doing on this podcast, what we're doing in the circles that we're creating, et cetera, is helping women develop resiliency on the physical, energetic, mental, emotional, awareness, and spiritual levels. And if you don't develop resiliency, you are going to get swallowed whole.
And on top of that, some women might say, well, that's why I stay in my little world and I stay isolated. And the problem is they have no community, which is another thing that we are trying to build.
Yes.
When you're just online, like, there are many studies out there that say being on social media is not being with people.
No,
It
it's
is
not.
not community.
No, it's not.
Like, you're not building a sense, you're just watching other people do things and look a certain way. And you're not even really seeing a real person probably on TikTok because they're probably filtering what they're doing too. So
it's amazing that you say that, because Michael and I will watch whatever. We don't watch a whole lot of TV, but we'll watch things and be like, all right, is that person real? Are they not? Like, you literally do not know anymore.
Mm-mm.
And that's very frightening.
Yeah.
And you're 100% correct. There is no community that is being developed at all as a result of this. It's a one-way street. You're just having an information overload, and it's not even good information.
Mm-mm.
And it's keeping these women in the loop of, what are my deficiencies? What's wrong with me? Et cetera, et cetera. So simultaneously, it is killing their confidence, their strength, their supportive ego, because we all have one and we need it, and also sucking them into a reality that actually doesn't even exist. So their self-esteem issues, their anxiety issues, their depression issues, their body dysmorphia issues, et cetera, are actually being created under a false pretense. Mm-hmm. And then when they don't have any community or don't go out in the real world and interact socially, they don't have any mirror. They don't have any peers. They don't have anything that is helping them understand that, like, actually, this is a very fake scenario. And over here, you're actually infinite, eternal, whole, perfect, exactly how you are, and all the things that we talk about.
Yeah. And when they don't feel that, they go right back into their shell and go with what's comfortable.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. Like that podcast just kind of blew my mind, mm-hmm. and the discussion, because what I see that also leading to is, like, if we talk about our 5-bodied self,
yep.
our 5 layers of the self, then the virtual world and the conditions of that virtual world then suck them into, well, these are the diet pills you should be taking. This is the food it is that you should be eating, all of which are probably, which we know are fucking genetically modified and all of that kind of stuff. And then, like, energetically, you should be spending more time online. It kind of ropes them in, which depletes their ojas, their immune system, et cetera, et cetera. And then mentally, emotionally, they don't know the separation between what is real, what is not real. And, mentally, they're just fucked, because it's like, I don't even know why I'm sad. I don't even know why I'm anxious, all of these things. And then there's no awareness on that consciousness level of, again, what is real, what is not.
Yeah.
And then spiritually, like, huh? You want me to grow spiritually? Like, I don't even have my basic needs met.
Yeah.
Thoughts? I'm curious.
I think it leads people to make the choice to just not participate
in
life anymore.
Yes.
Like, you just see that them going back into their shell and becoming so depressed and so anxious. And I think it just comes to the point where, this is the way it is. And there's so much more.
And they're accepting of that.
Yeah,
like, they think that that's their reality.
Mm-hmm.
Gals, that is not reality. Just going to put that out there. You can actually live your absolute best life, and it doesn't have to be on TikTok. Of which, for the record, I guess the congressional vote was to vote TikTok off the island now.
Mm.
That's Democrats and Republicans put that bill up for vote, and apparently they're getting rid of TikTok.
Wow.
I'm going to wait to see that.
Yeah. We'll see if that happens.
We'll see what happens. And it's not just TikTok, it's Instagram. We old people still are on Facebook.
Yeah.
But it's all of those, social media platforms, which is, it's disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
It's disturbing. So I think, one of the things that we've talked about, and we talked about here with Roberto here at SB Studios, is, okay, what the intention of this podcast is to start building community. And yes, we are using the medium of technology to get there, because guess what? That's a reality.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how can we use this medium in a very conscious and productive way to actually build real community? Mm-hmm. And I'm curious for you, because you're on the front lines with teenagers, and especially, female teenagers, not to say that males are not important as well, but what are you experiencing in this realm, social media, et cetera, with your students when you actually see them in person?
It's over the years, it's been a lot of anxiousness. Students started out as, I don't really like giving presentations because I don't really like being in front of people. It's like, well, I'm in front of people every day. I can do it.
But yet they're okay with videoing themselves and putting that on. Okay, so
again, but that's a different reality. That I'm okay in that space, but in front of actual people, it's gone.
And that's an energetic thing.
Yes.
That right there is an energetic thing, because when you have to actually be in physical space with people, their energy, you feel their energy, they feel yours, etc., versus I'm just in front of a camera. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, continue. I just wanted to.
No, that's okay.
Wanted to capitalize on that for a minute.
And that was actually years ago when I don't remember what it was called, but it was something was going around on the College of Idaho campus, and I think it was big on colleges, where it was the posting of you can say whatever on, it was like Yik Yak or something like that, but you can say whatever you want to on this platform.
Okay.
And it's completely anonymous. Nobody knows what was said.
There's no profile or anything.
Yeah. And when I heard that from our volleyball players, I was like, you girls better not ever get on that, because you're just asking for trouble. Yep. And you're not being a nice human being when you're getting on stuff like that and just anonymously posting things against other people.
That's really, this is like a social media version of Yelp.
Yeah, you could shame people, and nobody would know who it was. So it was just this.
Oh,
it's kind of gone away now, at least I hope. But it was
disgusting
when that started. Now I feel like there's so much more of that on different levels. My students now in classes they have a hard time talking to each other. I have to force them to no, I want you to read to your partner.
Basic stuff.
Go.
Here's the book.
They will just sit there and try to do it on their own, and I'm like, no, this is a skill that you have to learn. Again, back to the resiliency. You need this skill. You're gonna have to talk to people at some point. Mm-hmm. Good luck finding a job where you don't have to talk to anybody.
Yep.
And I think they're all hoping that that's going to happen. And
that's not a reality.
Not my reality.
No.
But I think since so many of them are on this online platform, I think they assume that this is the way the world works. This is how it goes.
It's so interesting to be in this crossover generation. Mm-hmm. As a Gen Xer, that we know what it was like to interact with humans and play outside and go for bike rides and, all of that kind of stuff. And now to be existing at a time when virtual is the majority. Yeah. It was so interesting. The other day, Holly, shout out Holly Kerrigan, and I went to Camel's Back Park for a run. And it was over the weekend, so the day was beautiful. And I could not get over how many people were outside and interacting and playing sand volleyball, and their kids were playing, on the jungle gym and all of that. And it was so nice to see that humans were actually interacting with one another. And so I think part of what we're doing here in this, piece that we're trying to fill in terms of building community is that humans naturally crave that.
Yeah.
They naturally crave that. And I think part of the anxiety and the depression and the confusion on what's real, what's not, confusion within the physical, mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual bodies of these women is because what is natural that has existed since humans have existed is to have connection in community with other humans. And yet the machine, quote unquote, is telling them no, stay virtual, stay separated, stay all of these things and so all of those mental, emotional symptoms or manifestations are coming as a result of that push-pull between what, as a natural human, we desire and what socially this generation is being told is good, correct, right, the proper way to interact, whatever, fill in the blank, kind of thing. So pretty frightening. So what are we going to do about it, sister?
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, life is not easy.
No.
Like, that has to be number one.
Yep.
Like, it's not all going to be rainbows and butterflies.
Nope. And I think we have a generation of people who actually believe that and are convinced that they deserve that. And it's like, yeah, I'm going with no on that. Yeah.
So, finding that path of going out into reality and actually being out in reality, it's not going to be easy. But I think the benefits are huge.
Mm-hmm.
And that is kind of the call that I have to a lot of young women out there that think, oh, you don't know what I'm going through. And no, I don't. And I'm not.
Yeah, but you do.
We all have our things, right?
Totally. They might not be identical, but
I'm not gonna. It's like I'm not gonna blow smoke up your ass and say it's all real. My reality is great.
No,
no, it's really hard.
Yeah.
But again, the benefits are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they just need to see that.
Yep.
And it's going to be hard when they're constantly on their phones. And so it's that call to get them out and get them on a community or in a community and get them to start seeing a purpose.
Absolutely.
As to why they're here.
Yep. Purpose is huge. And I think a lot of the confusion, that the podcast talked about, that we're talking about here, is because people have, and young women in this particular case, have lost their purpose or don't even know how to identify it. And so, part of the work it is that Prajna and I here are getting ready to do is, yes, we are looking at kicking off an online community, but that is for the purpose of gathering as many women as possible in real practices on the physical, energetic, mental, emotional awareness and spiritual levels. And also the hope is that by engaging people, yes, in this online virtual process, that community will develop in the real world as a result of that. So we're using it as a vehicle to provide information, to provide practices, to stay connected to real people, not just, I'm looking at a screen and getting information, but actually communicating, interacting, speaking, etc., having online events that bring people together, but also connecting with people who are in that online community that are actually in your community, and then being able to get together to do things like we did, last weekend. Was it last weekend? Or was it? Yeah, I think it was last Friday. Last Friday. God, everything to me is the other day. But last Friday, we got 20 women together to go bowling.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it was so much fun. So shout out to all of the ladies who came bowling from Fit Body Boot Camp, from Krav Maga experts, from the yoga world in our community. That was a blast. And the laughter was just medicine.
Yeah.
It was absolute medicine. And we're going to keep doing it. We have a group that we've pulled together. And
there were few good bowlers. Just so you know.
Fuck, right?
Bowling's not easy.
No. I mean, well, first of all, you were one of them. Like, for everybody, Prajna, she's got the shoes. She's got her own ball. Me,
The
I'm
ball
so
was
ghetto.
free.
Me, what was,
The ball was free. That was given to me. I just bought the shoes to go with the ball.
oh my God. Okay. Okay. I thought you had the setup at the same time, but no, I'm all ghetto. I'm like, I'll pay the $4 to rent the shoes, you know, but, oh my God, like there were some serious ballers there. I was like, damn, okay.
But then people were like, yeah,
Yeah.
put the bumpers up.
Exactly. Put the bumpers up, or they're pushing it with their hands or whatever.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
And every woman cheered every woman on. And that like just elevated my spirit. It just created such a great weekend. And we're going to continue to do local events like that. So gals that are local in Boise, watch out. There's stuff that's coming. And if you are interested, definitely either put comments in the YouTube comment section for this podcast or on Spotify, or send us an email at support@satyavanirising.com. So, because we're trying to grow the community as best we can. But you've got something here that you want to share.
Well, so we're also doing the Dharma Circle.
The Dharma Circle.
Okay, which is another piece.
Yes.
That we're just trying to build community. And so I was reading this last night, and it just fit. It says, life is stressful and empty when we are unaware of our destinies. For no amount of wealth, food, or entertainment can fill us like a tiny grain of purpose. And
so good.
It just really fit with the whole, we want to be entertained.
Right.
Virtually
entertained.
We want that to be our. I also was thinking about the book that I read years ago of The Brave New World.
Oh my God.
By Aldous Huxley, and how it's kind of where we're living right now.
Yeah. But it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't.
And I will tell you this. I will say this personally. I will not speak for Prajna, but I'm pretty sure you're on the same page. I'm going down swinging, continuing to push in the other direction and create community, where people actually do get together and learn about each other and learn about each other's lives. Because one of the things that I felt energetically when we went bowling last weekend, and you and I were in groups all the time, but like just with that group, it was like, it was alive.
Yeah.
It was alive, and like people felt purposeful, and they were sharing things, you know, about one another, and gals that hadn't met other gals because, you know, maybe their paths didn't cross, or they don't go to that class time, you know, at Fit Body, or they are not at Krav, or whatever the case may be. Those gals that connected, like just that spirit that came from that, and they felt purposeful in their life in that moment. And it was amazing. Yeah. So we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep doing it. All right. So this brings us to our oracle card of the day.
Okay.
All right. So we are pulling from which deck? The continuing deck?
Life Purpose.
Of course.
Oracle cards. And I picked it before the podcast.
That's
and
okay.
It is titled Heart's Desires.
Ooh.
The angels are supporting, guiding, and protecting you as your dreams become reality.
Oh, man. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
What does the book description say?
Let me see if I can find it.
I think it's in Alfie order.
Okay.
We're waiting.
What does your heart desire? This is the question that the angels ask of you. You're at an important juncture in your life when it's time to make decisions about what you want. No one, not even God and the angels, can make them for you. Spend time alone in quiet contemplation and consider your heart's desires. As many options are open to you now. Notice it says in quiet contemplation, not on your phone. The great news is that once you've clearly pinpointed your deepest desires and know that you deserve them, the doors of opportunity are easily open for you. You'll dance in partnership with your intuition, first listening to the inner voice and next taking action upon that guidance. Although your path may involve some work and tenacity, it will be smooth and peaceful. You, like everyone, deserve to be happy. This is God's will for us all. Your happiness uplifts the entire world and radiates healing energy wherever you go.
Could that be any more spot on?
I don't think so.
Oh my
That's a
God.
pretty good one.
That is really so you know what? What's your heart's desire?
To be waking up every day and feeling that purpose, feeling excited for what is coming. In my little introduction to the Dharma Circle, I said it's sort of like when a dog wakes up and they're just happy to be alive. Like they're just whatever's coming. I am excited. Like that's kind of that's what I want to feel every single day.
I love that.
And granted, my dog gets to take a nap all day, and then
Little bastard. We love the bonsai.
that'd
though.
be nice too. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just having that, as we've talked about before, pets are those divine beings that
Totally.
have come to us for a reason. So they get to live that life. So
I love that.
yeah.
It's
What about you?
My purpose or my heart's desire is to create a very powerful woman warrior community that is known nationally and internationally through all of the vehicles it is that I'm working on. One of this being the podcasts and through fitness and through Ayurveda and all of that, and to actually be a new voice for that, because I think that there's a lot of voices out there.
Yeah.
And I think the majority of them, and this might sound cynical, but the majority of them are just not helpful. And I think there is a unique opportunity right now, and I'm going to do whatever is in my power to ensure that that opportunity is taken advantage of in the positive way, so that it will benefit all of the women that come, behind me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's exciting.
Do you want to tie into your book at all?
I do.
Shall we do the?
Let's do the thing.
Yeah.
All right. So the thing is, for all of you that are out there, the direction that Prajna and I are going is we are building this online woman warrior community, and it is going to be supportive of all of these concepts that we talked about today. And right now, if you would like a free copy of my book, From Pain to Power, and you want to join the online community, for right now, what we are doing, because we're still developing it in its online platform, if you go to thewomanwarrioracademy.com, and yes, it is thewomanwarrioracademy.com, and you look at wanting to get more information about the online community, there's just a very simple form there that captures your name, phone number, and email address. And once we are getting ready to launch the campaign, which will, again, include a free copy of my book and a access membership to the online community, then we will be able to send that information out to you, because we obviously need your contact information in order for us to let you know that the community has launched. So would love to have you join. If you're interested, go to thewomanwarrioracademy.com, look at the online circle community, and just fill out the online form, and we will get in touch as soon as possible.
3, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I think 3 things that we're really trying to do is 1, lead by example.
Number 1,
yeah,
hands down.
2, we're always trying to teach from our life's curriculum. So that's something that we are really trying to project onto this online community. And then 3, being authentic.
1,000%.
Yeah.
And as a result, the women that join the online community, we want that for them as well, because everybody has something to teach and to share. And so you have to lead by example. You have to teach from your life's curriculum, and you absolutely have to be authentic, because what part of this discussion today is the veneer of the online thing. Like, I'm never not going to be me. I made that commitment a long time ago. You're never not going to be you. And like, there's going to be excellent parts to that, and there's going to be parts that we're going to continue to work on. And all of that is okay. And that's reality. So, yep. Anything else, girl?
I think that's it for me.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much. We so appreciate you being here and joining us for the Ayurvedic Woman Podcast. And we hope to hear from you soon. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Jai Bhagwan.
Jai Bhagwan.
Is life hard? Yeah, it's really fucking hard. And you can also have the life it is that you want. You just got to work for it.